Review of this week will be The Mechanic.
The Mechanic,
starring Jason
new
Statham.
movie starring Jason Statham.
Jason Status.
In which Jason Statham plays a hitman named Bishop.
Who leaves a spanner at the scene of the crime.
Bishop, we'll get to that.
Okay.
Which Bishop, he's essentially a high-class hitman who is assigned.
I feel this music is
files.
a bit too high class for this film.
Don't you worry. It's my natural charisma will make it high class. He was assigned targets by multinational, huge corporations because sometimes people just get in the way, and they need some people just become a bit too costly for their own goods. They need to hire Jason Statham, Bishop, to take him out in a very secret and hush-hush manner. And the reason he calls himself a mechanic, he explains this at one point, the Stathmeister. He eloquently explains at one point that, because in the broad sense of the term, mechanics, what they do is they fix things for people, yeah? They fix things for people who need things to be fixed, yeah? They get in there, things that are broken, yeah? And he fixes them, yeah? He's a fixer. And that,
Great soliloquy.
That pretty much tells you where you are with the film. So it's essentially 90 minutes of the Stathanator fixing things for people, and on the way encountering other people such as Donald Sutherland and Ben Foster. And there is a plot, but frankly it doesn't matter. Let's hear a clip from it.
Could get a little hairy, because if they were to get hairy, then you would take care of it, and that's all they care about. Services rendered, no loose ends. Fait accompli. You're a goddamn machine. You see things. You view people differently than I do, differently than anybody does. But you got a problem, Arthur. You need companionship.
I have you, Harry.
Oh, then you're in deeper than I thought.
So how's Stephen?
Did I tell you that I got him a job at a private security firm? They kicked him out last month. He beat some guy half to death. Goddamn disappointment. Always has been, always will be.
Call him.
Me? Call him? Or what?
Yeah, he probably needs to hear from you.
That's quite a line.
Now, that's Jason Statham talking to Donald Sutherland. Now, I am a huge man. Screw it. I have a huge crush on Jason Statham. I think I just love to watch him on screen. I'll watch him do anything. I've seen him play bank robbers. I've seen him play mercenaries. I've seen him be a gangster. I've seen him have existential crisis My favourite Guy Ritchie movie is Sherlock Holmes, because it's not a Guy Ritchie movie. But what is it called? It's awful.
Like Lock, Stock.
But it's at least funny. Revolver.
Didn't want to see it.
Awful
Looked
film.
terrible.
Anyway, and I like that because Jason Statham's in it. And essentially, my favourite Jason Statham film is it's not my favourite. It's my favourite performance of his. Is the fantasy movie In the Name of the King, A Dungeon Siege Tale.
That doesn't sound like a fantasy film, if I'm honest with you. Those choice of words make it sound more like a rom-com.
Now, in that they do this. There's this brilliant beginning of that film. They do the standard thing that fantasy movies do, where in the land of Cleflor, the Dark Lord, Blingy Blong.
Exactly.
They do all the prologue, and then it cuts to this pastoral, idyllic scene, as they do in fantasy movies also.
Yeah.
And you see Jason Statham wearing a tunic with a small child. The small child goes, "Daddy, have you heard about the events of
Shut up, child.
of evil Lord Darkanon or whatever his name is?" And Jason Statham looks at the camera pretty much and goes, "Son, I don't know about those sort of things. I'm just a simple turnip farmer, me." And the entire audience, you want to stand up and go, "No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not a turnip farmer. You're Jason Statham. You are Jason Statham, and I'm pretty sure you're going to fight a dragon at some point." I love him. I think he's a brilliantly camp figure. I mean, camp in the traditional sense of the term, as in a joyful celebration of artifice and exaggeration, as opposed to the Julian Clary sense of the word.
Yes.
He is a man to watch, to just enjoy ridiculousness and enjoying it in a knowingly fun way. He was the best thing about The Expendables, which took itself way too seriously. So in The Mechanic, he demonstrates this camp brilliance, a multitude of charms. This is in the first 10 minutes of the film. You get all the Stathaholic action that you are, frankly, paying your money to see with this thing. You get to see him wrestle a man in a swimming pool, yeah? He wrestles him to the ground, and then he strips to the waist and gets his pants out, because, of course, he's got to change, because he's been wrestling in a pool, and he quickly puts himself on a nice, fine Italian suit, and then he uses his Italian suit to beat up loads of people.
Is this just your own personal thing?
This is in the first 10 minutes of the film. look.
You fell asleep and had a dream, didn't you?
And then you see him beat up some more people. You see him steal a car. He drives that car to a speedboat. Gets on the speedboat. Drives the speedboat. Then occasionally has sex with a couple of anonymous bodies about. You can see him drink a scotch and shoot some guns and pump iron and all the things that Jason Statham does for a living.
The guns go
bang. This is all in the first 10 minutes. It's brilliant. He plays this ultra skilled, deadly assassin. Yeah.
Yes.
And essentially the thing is, the reason they hire him is because he can get in and out without anyone knowing he's been there, right? He explains it. He says to people, the thing about killing, is if you kill with a motive, you're gonna get caught. And he has this book that he calls his Bible, which is this like insurance document, like of all the ways insurance people believe people die. And you gotta use this, son. Gotta use it because this way you can set out the perfect crime, And he explains all this. This is in the first half an hour, and then for the rest of the film proceeds to kill people as loudly and conspicuously as possible, including one scene where I'm not making this up, literally, he kills a man by driving a bus into his car in the middle of the day, getting out of the bus, opening the door, and proceeding to shoot him with a machine gun. And then casually walks away.
Son, you've got to be really careful, really quiet when you do these assassinations. So watch me drop this piano on the man. Clong.
For the entire film, it's how can we kill us? I know what we should do. We find him in the middle of Central Park and shoot a rocket launcher at him. The film is so stupid. It's ridiculously stupid. But that doesn't necessarily mean it isn't any good. I enjoyed myself a lot in it. It's ridiculous. Everyone apart from Jason Statham is incredibly dull and preposterous, and the ending, if anyone sees it...
Sorry, everyone apart from Jason.
Oh yeah, but he
does
it in a sort of winking on just a simple turnip farmer, mate, sort of way. Like, you're not... Well, the other one was like, hey, man. They seem to be taking it way too seriously. And the ending, if you ever see it, you won't. But if people go and see it, the ending makes no sense on any level whatsoever.
Clarence, I want to live.
Every moment Jason Statham does the Jason Statham thing, I enjoyed myself. I got my money's worth. It's not up there with the best of his work. It's not Crank, which is so preposterous. It's funny. And the Transporter movies and stuff. But you will end the evening with a smile on your face. I'll tell you what, this will rile you.
Yes.
I enjoyed it more than the King's Speech.
Okay.
I enjoyed it more than the King's Speech because the King's Speech has a problematic ideology.
How have you just managed to turn this into a review about how much you hate the King's Speech?
No. Listen, do you know what the ideology of this film is? Isn't it fun to watch people with big guns go bang bang? And you know what? It is.
The guns go bang and the people fall down.
Jason Statham. Right. Jason Statham, the simple turnip farmer.
Right. He drives buses and shoots people. Okay.